MIU is a really unique institution in many ways. I think what MIU brings is this consciousness-based angle to education. And what we're now investing in is showing how a consciousness-based approach can be applied to sports. And with our soccer team, our tennis team, and now also with esports, I think we're going to be able to demonstrate how this approach of emphasizing or leveraging our inner growth for our outer performance can be applied in different settings. And esports is one of them that I think will be able to show that we can really be great in esports and do well while also developing our student athletes in a holistic way. I'm a professor in the MIU Esports Science department, and I'm also the head of the esports program, where we're hoping to launch a program next academic year. Esports are video games that are played professionally, usually with some kind of competitive ecosystem, audience, leagues, tournaments, maybe payments, anything like that. With traditional sports, there's a wide range of demands, both physically, mentally, and in other ways. For instance, something like chess is considered a sport, but that has a very different requirement from something like basketball in terms of physical and mental demands. So there's a range within sports, and esports has a very lower end physical demands and requirements. There are physical demands, and there are players sustaining injuries and experiencing the issue with low physical activity, but the demands are much more on the faster reaction times, the quick reflexes, the very precise movements. But there are physical demands, but there's also a huge mental demand and a lot of strategy, intellect, creativity. So there's a lot of range of expression. Currently in esports, because of the low physical demands on the sport, esport athletes are able to train for ridiculous hours. They're able to just play the game nonstop. Whereas in a traditional sport, there's a lot of internal feedback. We understand the body can only train for so long before it needs to rest and recuperate and recover. But for esports, we don't really know where that threshold is. We don't know how to maximize our performance yet in esports. So right now, players are just training crazy hours. I would say anywhere between 8 to 14 hours a day, depending on the game itself, depending on the region, and so on. Training that amount of time has its consequences. Sitting for that long of a time, being in such a heightened, elevated state of performance, needing to kind of constantly be at your peak for that long has a lot of both mental and physical demands that really can be challenging for the players, but also can bring about things like burnout, as well as physical injuries and so on. Esports is still discovering itself and trying to find where and how the best methods of training are. And that's what I think is one thing that's really exciting about the esports space right now, and where I think we can really contribute in a positive way, because right now the space is just completely absent of healthy, holistic training methods and practices. Or not totally absent, but it's definitely in the background or not as mainstream. So I think there's a lot of room for growth in the esports training space, and that's something that I think we want to offer in a really exemplar way.